just a little background. Our company's called Podcast Crew. We have a turnkey podcast studio in Robbinsdale. So now you know people that do podcasting.
Yes.
And thanks for being on our podcast.
Absolutely.
This is kind of a traveling show. We call it Spotlight, and it's all about shining the spotlight on you for 10 to 15 minutes. And so I'd love to start just by you telling me who you are and what you're up to.
Awesome. So my name is Elvis Rivera. I'm a first-generation immigrant from Guatemala. I dabble in a lot of things. My personal tagline, I often say, is I'm corporate by day, community activist by night, servant leader always. And what I'm up to right now is I'm in development of a nonprofit centered around a small business incubator, specifically for underserved, underrepresented communities.
Awesome. Yeah, so tell me more about that. Like, where are you in the journey? What's it called?
Yeah, so the name is it's still in development. Okay. Originally, I wanted to call it BIPOC Business Empowerment Network, but unfortunately, because of the political climate, I've been, having conversations around maybe changing the name so that I don't face backlash from it.
Understood.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But essentially, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, corporate by day, right? So what does that mean? For me, I'm a financial advisor by day. I work with obviously folks with money to help them invest their assets. Oftentimes, I'm working with people that have amassed huge amounts of wealth. And I also believe that knowledge, that financial literacy, doesn't belong to just those that have assets, but also should be trickled down to everybody, right? And so outside of work and community, I like to do seminars to teach financial literacy to folks that perhaps haven't had the opportunity to learn it. I feel that in order to bridge the racial wealth gap, we have to know how to manage money. And so my idea for this incubator comes from that, right? How do we build wealth? Sure, you can work, pay your bills, maybe save some at the end of the day. Are you going to become wealthy from that? Are you going to be able to close the racial wealth gap, or are you going to be able to leave something for your kids? Likely not, right? And so how do we expand that? I think through business entrepreneurship is how you bridge it. And so my goal with this venture is to be able to provide not just the education, but the resources, the capital, and the actual space so that folks can, that previously didn't have the opportunity or the pipeline to go into entrepreneurship, can have it. So
it's really exciting. I like what you're up to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you asked the question, sorry to cut you off. Where is it at? It's in development. Obviously, there's a lot of nonprofits in the state that are doing some of the work. But I feel like what's missing is the holistic approach. There's, you can get pieces of it through different organizations, through different initiatives, but oftentimes you can't get it all in one place, which makes the process even harder, especially if you don't come from a background of entrepreneurship. If you can't go to your parent, if you can't go to your family members and ask questions, or you don't readily know how to navigate going from idea to creation to, opening up the business, right? And so my goal is to have a one-stop so that they can do everything in one. And so I'm in development because I'm really looking to doing the research to see what other folks are doing, how they're doing it, not just in Minnesota, but across the state. I was fortunate to be awarded the Bush Fellowship this year, which I'm utilizing to obviously invest in myself and learn more about what other folks are doing, so I can bring all of those ideas, adapt them to what I'm doing, and really have a product that truly helps people, have the opportunity to build their entrepreneurial idea and bring it to fruition and scalability in the longer term.
What do you think is the number one question or concern that your constituents have?
Yeah, it's how I'm, as I mentioned at the beginning of this conversation, I'm a first generation immigrant from Guatemala. My mom had her first business back in Guatemala when she was in her teens. Just literally buying wholesale T-shirts from a different city and bringing it back to our city to sell for a small margin, right? It wasn't registered. It wasn't, she wasn't necessarily paying taxes on it. I mean, that's kind of how things flow over there. And then, so I think that's the biggest question, right? The essence of, yes, folks often have the mindset, they have the desire, they have the will, but they don't know how to navigate the system. I have this idea. How do I bring it to fruition? How do I navigate the licensing? How do I navigate getting the capital? How do I manage taxes? How do I do the accounting and things like that? What do I not know? You know what I mean? Like I know what I'm interested in. I know what I'm passionate about. I know the idea. I know how to do it. But all the behind the scenes that often tanks a smaller business at the beginning. I think that's the essence of what most folks want to learn about.
Sure. It could be very intimidating with all the things that you learn that you don't know as a first-time startup entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing. Let's bridge into Startup Week. So you're here as part of the Startup Week community. Why are you here, and what are you gaining from it, and what do you think others can gain?
You know what's funny? I'm not here for Startup Week.
No?
I was actually stopping at the DMV, which is like right there, right?
Okay. And then suddenly you're on a podcast. I love it, man.
Suddenly I walked past and I knew it was happening. I just didn't know it was happening this week. Why?
Wow,
because
cool.
last week I was in Atlanta for a different conference. Another conference was here in St. Paul. And then last night, Star Tribune had another conference. So it's hard to keep up with all of these events and things. And I literally must have been divine intervention. I literally happened to walk past. The DMV is literally right there. And so obviously I decided to stop by. I know what the Twin City Startup Week is about.
Okay.
So for me is from here I will go to the Osborne building. I have some friends that have their offices there. Simon Troutman, he's an attorney. Georgia Fort, has their office there, and a bunch of others. So I will stop there. Hopefully I'll get to join some of whatever's happening there and talk to some folks. I feel like we're better together, and the more that we are in these spaces, the creative juices flow more. And so that's my I've canceled everything I had for the rest of the day. As you can see, I'm not dressed for perhaps being here. But this is my jam, so I'm gonna stay here for the rest of the day.
It's all good, man. You saw it and you dove right in. You said, this is where I just need to spend my time today.
Absolutely. Divine intervention, I think.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes that's the way the world works, right? When it's working well.
Yes.
Awesome. So I want to kind of wrap things up. I'd like you to give me just a piece of inspiration, something that inspires you to get out of bed and keep going, something that inspires you when times are tough to just kind of keep moving, something that our audience might be able to gain a little insight from.
For sure. One of a phrase that I often gain a strength from is a Spanish saying it's pa'lante siempre. It translates to forward always, right? And I gain energy from that one because it's in Spanish, and for me, I'm very in tune with my upbringing and my community, and so to say it in Spanish for me is even more empowering. But the essence of what that's saying, right? Forward always, especially in entrepreneurship, you go through ups, downs, and everything in between, and you must get up. The resilience is what keeps you going. And if you research folks like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or insert name here, it hasn't always, even if they had the resources at the beginning, it's not you don't go from A to B and then you're there, you made it, now you can sell for $1 billion.
Right.
There's a lot of hills and valleys in between. And so to keep that mindset of pa'lante siempre, forward always, is something that keeps me going. And also my belief in the fact that we're better together. Each one teach one, and together we can achieve more. And also when you're going through those peaks and valleys, remember that regardless of anything, things don't happen to us, they happen for us, right? If you start your startup and think that it's going to be X, Y, and Z, and somewhere along the way you realize like, I can't do that. Instead of looking at like, oh my God, this is happening to me, I think there's a lot of power in flipping that and thinking instead, this is happening to me. This company can pivot from that and maybe become something amazing that you didn't even know that was going to come. Similar to me being here. I didn't know I was going to be here, and now here I am talking to this great person, meeting folks that are amazing, and I don't know what might come of this, right? Like, it didn't happen to me. I don't necessarily want to spend my morning at the DMV, but here I am, and I can pivot from
DMV is always so exciting, man. Come on.
On a Thursday morning especially, right? Well, yeah. So just staying positive and flipping the everything is neutral. We decide whether something is negative or positive, and so it happens to us, not for us. It happens for us, not to us. Excuse me.
I love it. I love it. And then Planta Siempre sounds like a brand name coming together. If I had to say there was a good one, man.
Yeah,
Always, always, forward always is probably a good,
absolutely. There you go. That's a more guy, right?
Hey, that sounds really strong, man.
Well, we have videos, so if it ever becomes a thing, we can come back to this.
There you go.